discuss a plan. You've got to start with a plan. You can't just go out here and have bits and pieces of ideas and say, well, you know, I hope somebody wrote that down. I hope somebody thinks that's a good enough idea that we can go with it. Come up with a plan. Come up with a plan from the bottom up or the top down. How do we approach the problem? How do we solve the problem, either from the bottom up or from the top down? And I would like to propose that to the board and to our government officials, that we at least look at the possibility of creating a task force, whether it be of citizens and government, or just have a group of citizens to meet together and say, hey, look, this is what's going on. Here's the plan we'd like to propose. Okay.
Could you state your name for the
Oh,
record?
I'm sorry. My name is Mike Nelson. I do live in the Indian subdivision.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Okay.
My name is Rich Lloyd. I pastor at the First Baptist Church across the street, and I have for the past 10 years. As I was sitting here, I thought of several things about being part of government, and especially the fourth. In the past 10 years, parishioners at First Baptist Church have been accused and convicted of murder, theft by mail, robbery, addictions that are so bad that they abandon their children. More grandparents in our church are raising their children because raising grandchildren because children have abandoned them. We even had state troopers sit in our church because I have been threatened for a couple of weeks at a time. I lost a staff member by suicide because I took him to Peninsula on more than one occasion because he did not have the right insurance, which we respect. Every one of those issues are drug related. One of our sitting judges here in our community is a member of my church. He tells me that 95% of what comes through him is drug related. We face a frightening, horrible thing. I thank Judy today for his work that he did with the case of Mr. Mikey Burns. Mikey used to be in my house with my child, my son, when he was young, drugs killed. And that is a message that I think we have to continue to tell, that drugs destroy and drugs kill. And so I have a couple of suggestions and thoughts. And first of all, to look, I think you're the reason behind all of this. I think we need to do this a whole lot more. Tonight has been very, very informative. It allows a lot of us to pontificate a little too much, But I think I appreciate the fact that we want to do something. And I would encourage a couple of things. If there's a way that we can take court out of high school and let it actually take place in front of all of our young people, it's a frightening thing when Judge Bell says, go take a drug test, and if they fail, you take them away for a 9th or 10th grader, or even that 7th or 8th grader. Or to watch what happens as I did when I watched the 15-year-old boy accused of murder have to be hauled off the shackles. I think reality could help if that is a possibility. That's one thing. The second thing, I live out of Bridgeport, and I live in a community of people, and I think most of the people in our neighborhood know each other. If somehow we could do this kind of thing on a smaller level within our own neighborhoods, and have people of respect and authority who lead them, people of information like all of you guys. I think if we can narrow it down beyond taking it here, it's kind of like church. People don't come to church, we have to take church out. And I think if there's a way that we can take that out and do that. And the last thing is about what I do. If there is a major failure, we in the church have spent far too long fussing with each other about all kinds of things and not spend enough time on being community minded.
That's right.
The African American church is a very good model that we have, I think, missed. Because they have worship, but they also have where their church has become a community center of sorts for their children, for needs, for help. And I think we who are of the clergy need to quit preaching a little bit more and maybe doing a little more within our community on a hands-on basis. And we need to, one of the best things I ever did in Cocke County was be a part of leadership. And I rode in those police cars. I sat in the courthouses. And I watched some of the things take place. And I think those are some of the things that I think we in the church need to be a part of. So, again, thank you guys. I appreciate this. And I hope we can expand this somewhere. And Jimmy, I think Jimmy's words are good for all of us who consider. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, I would like to let this group know that I've been approached by members of our city council and asked, what do you need? And I've tried my best to tell them, patience. We all need to be patient at times. We can't just get a quick fix. I like it a whole lot to put the Band-Aid on the bullet hole. We may cover up and stop the bleeding, but we're hurt inside back. We've got this community to go together. I support proactive law enforcement. Money was a problem, not for fixing the more. Chattanooga for fixing. I think these things, I don't want to think to do with this. These coming together as a community, learning, getting each other's input, and again, I've got to go back to education. I think we go with it. As Steve said, we've got to educate our youth. We've got to educate our children. I think as Rich said, we've got to bring values back into our homes, our churches, and our community. And until we drive up the demand, supply is not the problem, the demand is the problem. Suppliers don't rob people. The demand is what commits you robbing. Those people leaving that they're robbing each other, robbing dope dealers. A lot of people think it's okay if a dope dealer gets robbed. Until you go to the wrong dope dealer's house, it turns out to be somebody's grandmother that was one house over from 1764 instead of 1746 if you rob somebody's grandmother. Then the humor's gone. We don't see it as humorous to rob people anyway. And a lot of people think it's justice for a dope dealer to get robbed or get killed. And I've even heard the statement made, why don't we take a dump truck over them pills and dump them out and let them kill themselves? What if that's your grandbaby that's not responsible for that? What if your grandson drops on that pile of pills and such when you didn't know that? Education. We have got to educate our children, educate our community, and we have got to rehabilitate a generation. It's not all right to take grandmother's pills.
How do you do that?
It's again, if I had that answer, I'd flip it out here tonight, but it's been on at 6:15. And everybody's searching for that answer. Oxford, Chattanooga, Morristown, Whitetown, Greenville, they're having push-in robberies. They're having people go to Florida. The media is not for following people to pain clinics down there videotaping. It's not just Newport's problem, but I think Newport has come to the forefront with Luke's suggestion.